Well, today is August the 7th, 2026. August the 7th, 2011 is when Dad punched out right down there in the house that he built. Um, I'm not an anniversary guy, I'm really not. I remember my wedding anniversary, unlike my bride who routinely forgets. That might be a sign. But I'm not. Like, I don't remember like this date, other dates. But I wrote once in one of the books that as we age, the mile markers of our life are the births of our children and the deaths of our loved one. It's kind of how we gauge time. You know, the boy was, born 10 years ago, whatever. That was, a year after Dad died, or, whatever. But really for me, I don't really lock on to it like that. And I would love to do research in that area, why some people lock on to it. And I think some of it's learned behavior. It's the house they grew up in. Hey, we're going to the cemetery because grandma's been dead a year. And then, when they grow up, they kind of roll with that same type of, thought process. But for me, really, I don't lock on to the dates. I actually have trouble remembering some of the dates. But this morning when I woke up a little bit before daylight, I looked out the back window and it just hit right then, and not in a bad way. It wasn't a bad thing. I didn't break down. I didn't cry or nothing. I was like, wait a second, August the 7th. I was like, crap. Dad sucked his last breath, back there in that room on August the 7th. I was like, dadgum. And over the years, there's been a few times I remember the date, and where I'm at, traveling, whatever. Hey, this is, but it was just odd that, we're up here this week working on our Homestead in the Pines project. Uh, had 2 days of rain, so we kind of been working indoors. Today we finally got some sun, and I got up there with the bird early this morning with the birds. And then I truly hope you enjoyed the short little video of the deer. That was just phenomenal. Inspirational for me to go forward with this project. Knowing that somebody could be here, that their heads wrapped around that axle pretty hard, and they could sit out there with a cup of coffee and watch some deer in the backfield. We've got clover planted out here for them, and just thinking that would be some good therapy for them. But the meat of the video, truly, is really, understanding these anniversary dates, and do these anniversary dates sink you down, And I remember many, many years ago, my mom had these little solar lights out here shortly after this monument was built, and we were with Dr. Mitchell, and my mom asked Dr. Mitchell, she said, I don't know if I really like those lights. I look out the back window at night and I see them lit up, and it kind of put her in a bad way. And Dr. Mitchell didn't cut her no slack, and he just said, well, pull the lights. And we did. The lights went away, and I think that helped her, with that process, and that grieving process, which is a long process when you've been married for 50 some odd years. That's the video. I'm not all wiped out today. I kind of look at it this way. We're able to do things that he wishes he could do. He's not here. I was walking up some steps above the garage yesterday, and Dad had 2 rounds of cancer, and he lost the use of his legs. And that has probably helped me become such a better person with that experience, and seeing a man go through that, that I thought about it yesterday. I was like, you know what? When he lost his legs, he lived for a long time after that, but he never went upstairs again. That was it. His life was one level, and we're all complacent and lazy, and we'll park 10 feet from the grocery store, and, not me. I've said it a bunch of times, if you know someone who lost the use of something, an arm, a leg, whatever, man, you will appreciate the ability So, man, I got up after I saw the deer. I didn't want to disturb their morning munching. And then I got on the track here I have, and I ran through the woods. And for years and years before Dad got cancer, he called it the fat track. That's probably politically incorrect, I'd imagine. But he didn't want to get fat. He just didn't. And he was like, all right, I'm going on the fat track. He didn't run, but he walked, you know. And I still run it, and I've been running it for years. And hopefully one day we get things going like we want to here. We're going to name it the fat track, and if people don't like it, then they just don't like it. But it's the fat track. I don't want to get fat either. So that's my video. I'm gonna buzz you around. Man, you can tell everything's humming today. 2 days of rain, so I mean everything's coming alive today. And we got big projects going on here. We got a roll-off dumpster over here that is just as ugly as can be, but the dock is in really, really bad shape. I mean, like, safety hazard. We got to get rid of the dock before somebody gets hurt on it. And even though I say, hey, don't go out on the dock, but it's in bad shape. So we're taking the dock out. And anyway, got a little mini excavator over here that we've got some other stuff we got to do on. Just got it delivered. So I'm probably going to throw in some footage of that with this. But hey, let me buzz you around. You can see our roll-off dumpster. And then, like I said, that's the old dock. And it's literally just, it's a death trap, really. And been kind of cleaning up back here. You can see where we've done some new stuff. Of course, there's Dad's monument. And I talked to the fellow the other day that built it. And he's supposed to be out here tomorrow to help us work on a few things. And there's our little pond. Just opened up the barn. That's our big pile of pines that we cut from around the house down there. Just to get for too many pines too close to the house. So who am I today? Well, you would think on the anniversary date of your father's death, clearly he was one of the most influential spirits in my upbringing. A few other men too, a few other women, but clearly he was very inspirational to me. And I'm not down in the dumps. I'm not going to bring no flowers and throw some junk out here, and I ain't going to do none of that. What I'm going to do is try to take care of the place. This was his dream, and make it to where other people can enjoy it. I mean, that's really the key. We all need a break. Unfortunately, a lot of us like to take a break in front of the TV with a bag of chips and a drink, you know, but take a break out here, sweat, watch some deer, you know, watch a deer try to grab an apple. And back to that tree over there. That's Dad's only fruit tree that has survived. It's an apple tree, and he used to have a whole bunch of them, and over the years, they died off, and we are holding on to that one. We're like, God, come on, man. We got to keep it with us. So it was pretty cool to watch Dad's apple tree entertain that doe. But besides that, that's who I am today. I'm a guy that is loving life. I'm a guy that is enjoying the ability to be here and the ability to work, the ability to use my legs. And I'm not sad. Dad did his deal and he punched out, and that's the way it is. And as long as I'm here, I'm going to keep doing my deal. And when it's my time, it's my time. If you find yourself getting bogged down by the anniversary dates, then you might want to reevaluate. Instead of a bog down, maybe a celebration, you know. I went to a dear friend's funeral this week, took his own life, and it's kind of the way that I look at it. He rode the ride, and the ride got kind of old for him, and he did what he had to do. I'm going to miss him dearly, but man, he fought the fight, and I respect that. My dad fought the fight, and so as long as I'm here, I'm going to fight the fight. And that might be the title of the video. Y'all take care, have a great day. Don't spread the love, not the hate. And hey, remember them, but celebrate them. you.